Okay, it's Transformation Thursday. And you know, I've been promoting this since Monday, but I told you on Thursday I had some very special people coming on, and here they are. Are you noticing three amazing faces? So say hello to Nadia. Hey, Nadia. And
Hello.
then up in one corner, you see Vicky wearing the one of my favorite DDPY shirts. Good for you,
Hello.
Vicky.
Hello.
And then Miriam is down here looking, she's the intelligent one with wearing the glasses. Yep.
Hello.
What can we say? You look smart. And I'm just going to share one thing before these girls start, because I'll tell you what, we've got great stuff for you guys. But I'm going to share. So today, you guys in the 55 plus community, this is Transformation Thursday. We're going to take another level for you guys to all understand what the positively unstoppable challenge is for 2024. And the reason it's so important, you guys, we've only got a handful of days left. March 31st is the last chance. So one of the first people I want you to hear from, and I can't say enough about her, and that is Nadia. And Nadia, I begged to come on, but it is because, so you guys, I
Begging.
started in DDPY on January 20th, 2022. The day I started, I also signed up for the challenge at the exact same time. From day one, I had three voices that I listened to. One was DDP himself, just on the app, never met anybody, of course, just him on the app. And then everything that Nadia and Pat teach, those two, her and Pat, are in charge of the entire Positively Unstoppable Challenge journey that they take everybody on. So Nadia, by listening to you and Pat, and then all my workouts that I was following in the thing, you guys, 10 months, there were 77 inches gone, 80 pounds. And it was only on my ninth month that I came to the performance center, met Nadia in person. I know I basically attacked you, Nadia, because it's like, she's real. I knew she was real, but
No.
and so I need you guys to realize success will happen, but it's because you are a good student. If you listen to the right voices, you will never be confused. So I beg Nadia to come on, because Nadia, if you were to tell specifically the 55 plus, because we're a different breed. As a matter of fact, I should tell you, by the way, Vicky revealed that she's 59. I'm
Ooh.
69 next week. And Miriam, with the smart glasses on, Miriam is going to be 72. So, Nadia, we represent kind of a bunch of ages in here. But if you're going to talk to just our 55 plus family, which is growing like crazy, what what do you feel is important to help them to understand? Because we're talking to the ones that haven't registered yet, basically.
Mhm.
What would you say to us?
So I'm first off, thank you for inviting me, Pam. You didn't beg. I literally said yes within 10 seconds of you texting me.
Yeah, but
So
you knew I
it's
wouldn't have given up. So you knew I wouldn't have given up.
that's very true. But glad to be here. I lurk the groups a lot more than I, comment on the 55 plus because obviously it's just not my time yet.
No.
But I love the work that Pam has been doing. Um, yeah, it's we're so proud of the community that we've built with the challenge and all the amazing success and work that we see people accomplish every single year. Even people that, don't become champs or even people that don't end up submitting, just the amount of progress and the amount of beautiful things that come from being a part of the challenge community is something that inspires me every single day. And I tell everyone, even if you don't think you're going to be able to submit at the end, even if you don't think you're ever going to become a champ, I can guarantee you that almost every single one of our champs did not think they were going to be a champ. Even if you don't feel like you're going to, be those things, I tell you, just enter and just become a part of the community because it's such a great way to have a bit more structure and a bit more guidance and a bit of during your fitness journey, right? Pat and I really work really hard to provide a lot of support, provide a lot of resource, provide a lot of tools, tips and tricks to provide a lot of things for people to not feel alone during this process, right? We have we have like a startup guide for people. That way you don't feel like it's overwhelming to submit or what to record or what to do. We do Zoom calls every week, which we're gonna do when we're recording this today in a little bit, where we have people share like a lot more personal stuff in a very like welcoming group setting. We post little challenges, just Pat and I, that kind of incentivize people to do certain things. We're basically helping you curate this experience and helping you create stuff that even if you don't end up submitting, you can reflect back and celebrate your own success. Because ultimately, the challenge is a way for us to be able to help as many people as possible in a bigger of a scale. So whenever like you join this thing, just don't think about it like I'm going to win this challenge. If I don't want to win, why would I even join? Just think about it, joining a really supportive community that is there for you and there for each person to be able to grow alongside you. And when it comes to the 55 plus community, I know that there is different things that you guys go through just because of wherever you are in life. um, but there's a lot of other people in there too that might not know about the 55 plus group, or might ways of approaching fitness and health that you might find helpful. I always find that learning from other people that are different from myself is such a beautiful, powerful thing,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to just health and wellness and fitness. And I think that's what's so cool about the DDPY community, that everyone is so different. Um, and Pam used to say that she was like the outsider and she was not like anyone else. But I think it's really cool how Pam has welcomed all these people and kind of really created this community of people that felt the same way, and really helped it grow. And I love how even within our group, there's people that do that as well. I hope I answered that question properly, but
Yeah.
please ask me more things and I'll continue to expand.
Yeah. Well, and what's really cool, you guys, this is a free entry. There's no
Yes.
fee involved. So you're not making a financial commitment,
Mhm.
but it's like Nadia said, then you get invited into that private Facebook group that has to be you have to register, you don't get into that door. And
Yeah.
you guys, even this month, you have been featuring nutrition this entire month, correct? Of March.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in the 55 plus that ask questions
Hmm.
about their nutrition pillar. And
Yeah.
seriously, if you guys register for that, you're going to get a real deep level of understanding, because that's what you and Pat always seem to have layers of a journey you're taking everybody on, right?
Yeah.
So,
So to go in and expand on those things, we purposefully like I love the fact that this is kind of a smaller quote unquote group. We're always around 1,000 to 2,000 people,
okay.
which is a lot less overwhelming than the big DDPY group, which they're doing beautiful, amazing things. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's so neat whenever you're starting or you're focusing and honing in on something, to be going through something at the same time as other people and they're going through the same thing. So I think it's really cool that first off, we're a smaller community. We're private, so everything is a lot more, intimate, which I prefer as well when it comes to being able to share things that are a lot more personal. Um, and yeah, like Pam said, Pat and I have really created this in a way where we're following what we think it's the most important to tackle during the fitness journey. Like Pat and I sat down with Steve Yu and we really thought about, okay, if if I was doing this, or when Pat was doing this, or when I've been, in my own health journey and fitness journey, what were the things that I felt so hopeless, or what I felt like I needed help in immediately to maintain and stay on track.
Yeah.
So, when we first start, that's why we have like a bunch of different inspiration and transformation videos, because we want to make sure that people are inspired and people feel like they can do it, and people can find themselves within someone within our transformations, within the group, or if they don't, then they can create their own path that way. The second month, we call it our boot camp month, which just passed. And basically, we give you each week a crash course into different topics that cover each pillar. So, nutrition, mindset, and fitness. Each week has different things that we feel are necessary for people. And then we felt like right after that, you'll be doing the workouts those first 2 months. And that's, to me, that felt like, if you have the app, if you're going to be doing the workout, the app does a really great job at laying out your week for you. What is something that people struggle with the most? And it's nutrition.
Right.
So that's why this third month, we really just delve deep for the whole month on, people, what do they struggle with? What are some things that you've been successful in? Because we also want you to celebrate successes. We don't want people to just maintain themselves in a negative mindset. And throughout it all, we work on mindset, because we think that that's the sneaky thing that people don't know they need to work on. But we really do believe that in order to create sustainable, healthy life change, you have to be able to really work on. Am I about to? I'm about to quote Dallas. That 6 inch of real estate. Every time I quote Dallas, I'm just like, oh, I'm about to quote Dallas. So, so yeah, we really do believe that it that's what's going to maintain your lifestyle change, because it is about creating lifestyle change. So yeah, and then next month, I forget what next month is, but I'm pretty sure is something along those lines of what we think is important in the next step of the journey.
But you said you recorded these ones this month though, right? So when
Yes.
they get registered and they get to come into that group, those recordings are pinned up at the top, if I remember right, right?
Yep. So every week we also do, along all the content that we have, we also do some Facebook Lives.
Right.
If we're particularly busy that week, which happens because things are crazy in here, we might skip a week or something. But we do Facebook Lives as well. The first 3 months of the challenge are accessible to everyone, and then once the challenge closes this month, all these lives and all this content will be exclusive to the group. The
Yeah.
Zooms are always private just to the group because of the nature of them. But the Facebook Lives are recorded and they're posted in the group and pinned. We've done lives on documentation. We've done lives on like nutrition, multiple ones of them. We've done lives with all the champs. We've done so many different things that we feel are either going to inspire you or help you or answer questions. That's always some of the biggest stuff that we do.
Yeah.
And there's also a bunch of people there as well. Like all of our champs are in there,
Mhm.
and they're super helpful answering questions or supporting people, and just kind of helping others whenever you feel like there's something that you can't help. If Pat and I can't tackle it in time because we're wrangling thousands of people, which is crazy to think about.
Oh.
We always have backup with our champs, so that's always nice.
Ah. Oh, sweet. So I'm telling you, if you're catching on, we are so blessed to have that program in place, but also two people that know what they're doing. Because really, Nadia, you and Pat have a bird's eye view over everything. So they're overall the champs. They see everything going on with all the trainers, all of the fast track coaches. They're engaged in all the things that represent DDPY. And right now, when you're looking at Nadia, she's in her office at the Performance Center in Atlanta, Georgia, Smyrna suburb. But so she's in the hub, you guys, and you want to be a part of where things are really happening. So now we're going to shift a minute because Vicki and Miriam, you guys stepped in, you got registered right away. I think on kind of day one of 2024, you both stepped in. And what I find amazing, Nadia, about these two women is and I'm drawn to people that are the get her done kind of personality, right? Well, Miriam and Vicki are very much that. And they both reached to me with questions like things in the 55 plus group for sure, but they're wanting to do the best that they can at this. So if you two girls, I'd like to throw one question towards both of you a moment that is specifically you girls. What was the one thing that you had to get past, the obstacle that you had to get past before you're like, okay, that's right, I need to get registered? What would be that? What was that one stumbling block for you that you got past? Go ahead, Miriam.
The documentation, the videos, the pictures, the putting it on a YouTube channel, putting pictures in Google. I mean, I think that that's probably what stopped me. This is not the first time. This is not my first rodeo. It's the first time I've ever gone past taking just the first 6 pictures. And it all was, to me, it was the documentation.
Yes, getting past that and
Yeah.
understanding. And that's why Pat and Nadia have spent so much time even helping with that because you guys have caught on. It's even for young people. It isn't that all young people, Miriam, are that skilled at that either, but it is for sure us seniors. It's like,
Mhm.
don't tell me there's one more thing I got to figure out on this smartphone because I have to be smarter than the phone to use all these apps. But what about you, Vicky? What was the one hurdle for you?
Okay, it was just that feeling of overwhelm for my age group, and oh my gosh, and all these things that are coming at me that I'll need to do this as a your analytical type of person, and you know happen to do everything just right, and I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be just right. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. And the community is so fantastic. And Nadia and Pat to help you. Everybody's here to help you. It's so fantastic. And, to get everything lined up that will need eventually done. So, but does have to be done today.
Yeah, Nadia, go for it.
And I want to say, if you're just joining now, or even if you joined and you haven't done much, if you go back to those early Facebook Lives, that's really, I'm getting help from Pam and suggestions from people, but Nadia, that was what really set me on the straight and narrow, because I was the one talking about putting it up on a web page, because I have a
Yes.
web, like Blogspot or just something.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, I'm going to put it all up there. And you said, no, you really should try. You thought it was an interesting concept, but in order to be able to download the videos, and it had to be on YouTube, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't want everybody to see it.
Right.
And then there's public and private and unlisted. And, there was just so much going on. And so a lot of that technical information I picked up from these Facebook Lives. And so I'm glad that you have them pinned. I also went to Zoom meetings, but these were the Facebook Lives that were like really instruction, open for everybody. And so I really suggest that people go back to those pinned Facebook Lives, because that's really, once I understood the larger concept by way of Facebook Lives, then I could go into the smaller concept, like, where do you put the camera and how do you do this? But the bigger stuff I got from those Facebook Lives.
I agree.
And I have to say, Pat and I are in the groups, so 1,000%. And Vicky and Miriam always come in with awesome questions. They always come in with such great energy. They always come in with stuff that I'm like, yes, I needed someone to ask this, so thank you so much for asking it. So never feel like you're asking the wrong thing, because I need someone to ask it anyways, first off. So it's always appreciated. Second, I'm glad that you guys appreciate all the work that we've done on these lives and the documentation. Pam, if you let me present, I can present and show people the website and how to access the startup guide. I have it pulled up.
Oh, good.
So
So
let me
I
see
just
if I
need
can
to
do it.
Screen share multiple participants.
Yes.
Right?
And then I can screen share it, and then I can show people how to access this. So great. Let's do this real quick. Here we are. Woo! So this is the positivelyunstoppable.com website. So it's super easy. I worked on this startup guide for probably like a year, not gonna lie, or 6 months the minimum. And it was on and off project that I had. It wasn't even like an assigned thing. It was just a thing that I felt like we really needed, just based off every time me and Pat would do a live, and every time like people would ask the same questions. And it was more of like, I know that people can't watch all the lives. I know people can't be there the entire time. And I know that the documentation part is so overwhelming. And I always tell people, you just have to think about it in a way where, like, if we're gonna tell your story, we need certain things. Or if you want to look back on it, what are some things that you're really going to want in order to appreciate all that you've done, right? So that's all the things that I was thinking about when I made this. So if you go to positivelyunstoppable.com, at the very top, you click Startup Guide. It'll take you to the nifty startup guide that I made. So we're not going to go through it because we did a Facebook Live, if you want to check it out, where I went point by point, but I just kind of want to show you that it's pretty simple and digestible. We explained the 3 pillars, like we've kind of mentioned here, explain why they're important and why we look at these things. Why, whenever we're like basically reviewing our submissions or in general our philosophy as GDPY, why it's so important. I think that's always really great whenever you're kind of targeting your fitness transformation or just like in general your health and wellness. So that's there. Getting started. We have things that, if you don't know what you're doing, what's the first thing I want someone to do to kind of get in the headspace or kind of, situate themselves? Dallas always says the list. It's always a great place to start. Think about your why. This came about, I think, the first year or second year that we did. No, this came 2021, if I'm not mistaken, the why. Dallas already talked about this on and off, but we really honed in on the concept in 2021 whenever one of our participants made a why video. So it took someone making a why video. That was the first time it ever happened. And we're like, oh my God, this is like super great. Like, why we need everyone to do this. So that's kind of where that came about. And we've loved it ever since. And we think it really like hones people in as to why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So after that, we kind of give you some more tips on what to do for your why video, how to tell your story. We give you the SmackDown goal sheet that we have people fill out. We give you a downloadable worksheet. This is stuff that's on the app already, but I kind of made it a little bit easier to kind of follow through, digestible. And this is stuff that even if you're not in the challenge is super helpful anyways. But for people that are doing the challenge, it's just helpful to kind of go through it in this way. Documentation, the thing that everyone is always nervous about, but it's not as scary, I promise. I literally show you examples of what these pictures should look like. I called Josh and I told him, Josh, I need a model. I don't want to do this myself. Can you come over? So that's the story of how I got Josh Nair to do these. So I just have Josh come over and do these pictures for me and the poses that we needed, explained at the bottom some tips and tricks on how to do these as well and get exactly what we need. Basically, at the end of the year, whenever we do like the workout with all the champs, Steve likes to do a morph of their before and their after pictures. So we really want to have really clean images, which is why we want this to be as clean as possible with your full body in it. So that's what we kind of like show people exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
For the videos, sometimes people don't even know what to record. What do I record? I don't know what to record. So we kind of give people as well, like the objective of like whatever you get, you can use for your 3-minute video that you have to turn in at the end. It doesn't have to be professionally edited, and you're going to see that as well when we keep going. But maybe some things to think about while you're recording stuff or documenting stuff, like how has this changed your life, big or small, non-scale victories, any of that. Any goals you've accomplished. Some people, their goals are not just about losing weight. It's like, okay, can I run a 5K? Can I run with my kids again? Can I get off from the John like Miss Diane? There's different things that people do that are very meaningful for them. So it doesn't have to be just weight loss, Mobility is a great goal. Like there's so many different things. So these are all questions that we kind of just gave you as prompts. You don't have to answer all of them, but I think it helps give people a little bit more direction if they're a little bit lost. I give you examples of final submission videos, which is crazy. Here's Pam. Pam had a great final submission video. Here's Candice, here's Christopher. And then I even gave you Ken Doors. Ken just did a vlog. He didn't do an elaborate video where he edited all these different things. He just talked to the camera and it was super raw and super honest. And that's the biggest thing that we want to see. We want to be able to see you being honest and being yourself. We here at DDPY deal with so many people and we get to meet so many people that we're really good at telling when people are not genuine and authentic. I think that comes from just doing documentary work, which that's what we do here. So really like if just be honest and just be yourself. That's all we want to see. So these are great examples. We have so many great champ videos, but I felt like these were diverse enough. That's why I added them. Then we have some extra tips on storage. Storing your stuff. We know it's hard. We get it. I tell you everything here. I give you the programs. I give you everything. I tell you how to do it. I tell you to be organized because I know that's hard and I don't want you to be there at like 11 p.m. on the day before it's due and then your stuff isn't uploading.
Right.
because Pat and I work late that night. Also, just get creative and have fun with it. That's the biggest thing for us too. We want to be able to see people having fun with this. This is, supposed to be a cool, happy thing, or like even if it's not happy, just like what did you learn throughout the process? That's what we would love to see. So yeah, and then at the end, join the communities. We love that because
Wow.
we think it's a really big part of it. So that's the cool nifty startup guide that I worked on for months.
Awesome. Now
So
let's
if people are lost and don't know what to do, positivelyunstoppable.com startup guide, it makes me happy when people use it because I worked really hard on it. Thanks.
fun. So how do we get our faces back? Did
There
you-
we go. I stopped sharing.
Did you?
Are we back?
Uh,
I'm back.
I'm back.
Are you guys back? Why am I?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Go back to your Zoom tab.
Oh, that might be why I don't have it, because I don't have the Zoom tab up. I have to go back to the Zoom tab?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or go back to your Zoom meeting.
Can't believe Pam is lost.
I know. Oh, well, you can totally believe that though, can't you? Oh, here I am.
There she is. Listen, I was telling Jen, I'm like, I'm so proud of Pam. She set up this home Zoom call. She like did it. Look at how tech savvy she is now.
But now I do this
people-
Monday through Friday, so you'd think I would be even better, but okay.
You're doing great.
You're awesome. But Nadia,
Yes.
seriously,
Yes.
what you have given them this year,
Mm.
that's huge. Absolutely huge. And so I'm glad you showed what this actually you put
Yes.
together in a way that they can get to easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I do want to point as well. Both Vicky and Miriam, you guys have taken. What were the steps that you took? Like pretty much as soon as you're sure that you want to get going. I know you're attending everything. You're like great students of what Nadia and Pat are doing. But even like you, Vicky, I know right away you got your heart rate monitor. You were listing in the 55 plus. I got this today. Now I'm getting this done and this done. So what were the steps you took advantage of right away, Vicky?
Okay, well, the guide itself, Nadia, just A+, because it's very simple, cut and dry, easy to follow for those who, get overwhelmed easily. And yeah, easy to follow. And then printed that out for myself. And then just one step at a time. The heart rate monitor was important. And then I added a chair and then some yoga blocks just as I'm progressing. And just got myself registered because free is the right price.
Yeah.
And I say there's so much to gain, just absolutely phenomenal. The community is wonderful. The information, the extra information once you go into the Positively Unstoppable Challenge group there once the deadline closes. So you got to register, people, got to register. And if anything else, you'll have the information, like you said, whether you progress through. But you can just, like I said, have better health, have some, goals and progress and be a better version of yourself. And so, yeah, just, I just love the information. I can't learn fast enough because there's so much available, so much information and
Yeah.
it's there.
And you
And
love information. For those of you that love details,
Yeah.
Vicky wanted them, Nadia. So you gave somebody who wanted a lot of it, you gave it to her, because Vicky
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have gone forward if you wouldn't have had like all the information.
Mhm.
That's her personality, so it totally worked for her. But you
Yeah.
brought Nadia the thing for me. Seriously, that whole first year, you guys, my first 10 months, I got on my 10th month was when I got a call and they said I was a champ. I cried, like I fell all apart because Nadia's right. I kept saying, I don't think I'm blending very well because I'm like the older person in the room, and all the people, it felt like they all were cool looking, cool hair colors, cool tattoos, cool. And here sets me, at that time, 67 years old and no cool hair, nothing. And I kept saying that to Nadia and Pat. I know I'm different. And Nadia, you always made me feel like, no, you're fitting right in. I'm thinking, really?
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's one of those things where like I know that there is like a certain crowd because Dallas is a wrestler, right? And I think that a lot of the innate audience of DDPY sometimes tends to be like more alternative. Um, but that's just, I mean, health and fitness and wanting to be the best version of yourself doesn't have
Yeah.
race, gender,
Mm-mm.
like and age. It doesn't have any of that, right? And
Right.
I think that the beautiful thing about Dallas is I've never met someone that really cares about, as much as he does, really cares about just healing people and
Mhm.
helping people be the best version of themselves. And I think it's really cool that as GDPY grows and as the challenge grows, we're able to choose champs and choose representatives, because that's what champs are. They're representatives of our community that are so diverse. And I'm super proud. I mean, last year I think it was one of our most diverse groups, honestly. Um, so it's super cool to see it, and I'm super excited to see how it continues to grow. So we want people that are different. We want people that fit different molds, because we want to make sure that anyone can see themselves in a champ, and anyone can see themselves in any single transformation, because we want to show people that it's possible and that it can happen. I tell people all the time, like, I get to see miracles every day, and that's a crazy thing that I get to do. I'm very, very blessed that I get to do that. And I want to be a part of inspiring people and helping other people see that there is hope and things are possible if you believe in it. I don't want to get cheesy, but yeah.
Well, I'd like to even go one level further with the cheesy. Miriam, would you be willing to share what happened, what revelation you got yesterday on your
Oh, yeah, of course, of
because
course.
she's been on the journey. She got engaged right away with a Positively Unstoppable, and she's on her journey. But yesterday, she really got it to what I feel a whole new level. If you'd share that, Miriam, I think it's pretty powerful.
Okay, so I was walking yesterday, and you know what? Of course, the challenge is about ourselves. We want to get healthy, we want to lose weight, we want to touch our toes, we want to, whatever it is that we want to do. And it's all about us. And that's okay, because our whys are, I want to get here and I want to do this. And the goals are what I'm going to do to get there and all. And it's very egocentric. And that's okay, because when you're working towards this championship, you really have to concentrate and do what you have to do. But yesterday I was walking and I just got this feeling, and not even a feeling, almost a voice like in my solar plexus. And I'm just walking, and it said, your why is to inspire people. Your why is not about you. Your why is about others. And I was thinking, it's not like, oh, I'm so great and I'm going to inspire people. That's not it. You know what? I'm going to be 72. I've had 2 knee replacements. I've had a hip replacement. I've had rotator cuff surgery. The doctor wants to replace the shoulders. And I says, no, I'm not going there. My mother took me to a diet doctor when I was 13, and in those days, amphetamines were nothing. I was sent home at 13 years old with a prescription for speed, and that's how I was supposed to lose weight. And so I've been through it all, and those are the people that was, and I feel that, the 60 years, maybe even the youngsters who were 50, but definitely the 60, 70, 80s that have been on, their mother sent them to be on a diet when they were 12 years old, and they're, 75 now. And you think that the answer is outside of yourself, and you think that the magic is outside of yourself. And all of a sudden it was like, no, I'm doing the work, and I want to inspire other people to do the work. And so
Yeah.
I'm still there, but what the challenge, the personal goal is here. But I really feel like something opened in me yesterday, and it was, instead of this is my goal, this became my goal, and to inspire people and to give them hope. And how many of us said, oh, I'm so stupid, and why did I eat that, and I'll never get this and that. And it's just to give, it's like I found the hope through this challenge. I found the hope. And that's what I want to have other people find. It's not you don't give a prescribed diet. God
Right.
knows you don't even give a prescribed workout. I walked today for an hour. That was my workout. You know, what I find the challenge is doing, it's steering me to find the answers for myself.
Mhm.
And I think that my ultimate goal is to inspire people to see that the magic is in them. They don't need people to tell them what to do, and they don't need amphetamines, and they don't need, whatever it is. So anyway, I'm rambling and I'm going on and on, but it was just like when the solar plexus, when you breathe and you say that's really what happened. It just sort of opened, and it wasn't just about me anymore. So anyway, that's what Pam was talking about, because I shared that with her.
But on Monday, I shared Dallas's, it's a Mindset Monday that's recorded. He talks about your mindset can change in an instant.
And that was
Powerful Mindset Monday that's on our app. Your mindset can change in an instant. So this week I was featuring the elephant with the steak in
Yeah.
the right?
Yeah.
When they're a baby, they try, and then they figure out they can't. So now you can take, thousands and thousands of pound elephant, put a little stake in the ground, and that elephant really, the mind doesn't know that any different, right? And yet in an instant, if that elephant pulled that leg and pulled that stake out, there would be freedom. And I loved when Dallas put that, you can change in an instant. Well, ironically, when Miriam reached out to me yesterday, I realized, Miriam, you did change in an instant. I've seen your greatness way back when I saw you on a live thing before, and I didn't know who you were, but I thought, wow, that woman's got wisdom. That woman has energy. She's changing things. And then when I met you, you didn't really see yourself like I saw you. And I feel like yesterday you did, Miriam. You saw who's inside. You know
yes.
that statue where they show those people and they're chipping away at a large body below them? You've seen that, haven't you, Nadia? I know you guys did because I put it in the 55 plus. But yeah, that's what the challenge, I think it takes us till we find ourselves. And as soon as we find ourselves, that's the moment we actually are unstoppable. And Miriam's was yesterday.
And I've found very instantly, immediately, as soon as I came across DDPY, it was within minutes, and I recognized Dallas's love and wisdom for the success of people. That is what hooked me. It's like, wow, he cares.
Yeah.
He cares about our success, and that was it. And I'm like, this is my missing piece.
Yeah.
It's
powerful.
And
Well,
I want to.
I know we have to close out, but Nadia, and I know you have to brace on to other things. Is there any other closing thought you have for this 55 plus family that you guys were so kind to give us?
Miriam can finish and then I can talk.
Oh, I just want to say, for anyone who's still on the fence about joining, it's free. It's free. And believe it, there's no joining cost. All of these things that teach you how to make videos, and now the thing you're running is meal prep, free. It doesn't cost you anything but your willingness and your time. And that is so unusual. Across the board, you won't find anything like this. So I just wanted to get that in before we
ahead, Nadia.
There's so much help.
Nadia, we're fortunate that you came on. Share whatever you want to share as we close out.
I think what Miriam said is great too. Like we have all these tools, these resources. I know it can be overwhelming as well. Sometimes even when we provide all this information, when someone's coming in, I always say it's just something for your tool belt. You pick whatever you need and you just leave the rest, or you switch it up one day. It's until you find whatever works best for you. And that's what's so great about DDPY. It's like a choose your own adventure type of program, which is really great. If you haven't join the challenge. It's a really great community. It's super supportive. Just go to positivelyunstoppable.com. You are able to enter in there. fill out the form. We'll send you an email and invite you to the private Facebook group. You need to be entered into the challenge to be a part of the private Facebook group. If you have any questions, there's a startup guide in there. We have all the different lives we've done. You can also just contact me or Pat McDermott. My email is Nadia@DDP Yoga. Pat is Pat@DDP Yoga. And we're here for you guys. We're excited. You have until the end of this month, March 31st. Yeah. You have until the end of this month to join. And then the submissions are going to be due after that in 6 months. So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
That's
Free.
exciting.
Endless information, endless
The link
information.
below this, so that they can click on the link below our video, girls. But I can't thank you three enough. I'm telling you what, I believe this is a game changer and it will help people. So love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us all your time,
Gotta
all three of you. So you're amazing.